Let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance, everyone.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
Nation.
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you.
The notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act for this meeting have been met by transmitting the notice of the regular meeting to the Commissioner's official newspaper on February 1st, 2024, posting the notice where required, and filing a copy of the notice with the Commission Clerk. The Deal Lake Commission meetings will be audio and videotaped and will be shown on APTV, Optimum 77, and throughout most of Monmouth County on FiOS 28. We'll take a roll call. Allenhurst?
Present.
Asbury Park?
Yes.
Deal? Interlaken?
Present.
Lock Arbor?
Here.
Neptune? And Ocean.
Present.
Okay, tonight we have Resolution 2431, a resolution to approve the minutes of the regular meeting from March 21st, 2024. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second.
Interlaken.
Thank you. All in favor that the minutes of the regular meeting of the Deal Lake Commission held on March 2021, 2024 being the same are hereby approved. Allenhurst?
Aye.
Asbury Park?
Yes.
Interlaken?
Yes.
Lock Arbor?
Yes.
And Ocean.
Yes.
Okay. Tonight we also have a resolution to approve the treasurer's report and pay bills. Bruce, did you get the report?
I did.
Okay, sorry it was so late. I was away.
Well, okay. So balance on hand from the previous month of $16,763.23. We had receipts totaling $38,5570. A total available is $20,618.93. We did some disbursements in the sum of $26,2431. Total balances $17,994.62. And those are kept in our two accounts, the Manasquan and the New Jersey Cash Management Fund.
Thank you. Someone please offer to approve the treasurer's report.
Asbury Park.
Thank you. Second.
Interlaken.
Thank you. Allenhurst?
Yes.
Asbury Park?
Yes.
Interlaken?
Yes.
Lock Arbor?
Yes.
And Ocean.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, Don, take it away.
Okay. We've been having some excitement trying to close down our 319 grant from 2018. I just got notification today. We have a new grant manager, third one since the beginning. She's newly minted and she's very nice, but she did come back to me and ask me for to draft an extension. I'm going to do that when I get home tomorrow. And she gave me the justification. So that should be an easy thing to do. I'll sign a letter and send it to her, and we should be extended for another 6 months. We should be able to close it out prior to that. But we had a lot of discussions on our request for funding, which got held up. Supposedly 10% of the grant gets held until the final payments, until the final paperwork's made. And you can't complete the final paperwork. Oh, we can complete it, but they won't accept it until all the payments are made, and we still owe the contractor $20,000. So we had a sit-down session, took a couple hours, and we finally agreed that they're going to be sending us a check for about $93,000, and they'll hold the balance at 10% at the state until we get that done. So once the $93,000 comes, we'll be able to pay the $20,000 to our contractor, and we'll be off and running. So, but there was some misinformation that was, or the review that wasn't done properly. All the information was done correctly by Ricky and everyone, and they just missed it. And there was questions about a check for $275,000, and we had made the payment to the contractor. So they gave us advance payments, if you remember, way back when, years ago, for getting some of the treatment devices in. So anyway, that's all cleaned up. So that should be smooth running on the 319 grant. Peter, you got anything to add to that, or?
No, everything's submitted as far as we have been concerned,
Yeah.
and we're just waiting for them to sign off,
Yeah.
so the contract can be
And
paid.
Steve was working, Steve's working another project, but Steve was helping out on that too. So I thank you, Steve.
Just everyone should keep in mind when we get to number 8 here, that Don and our office should be complimented on the location of the manufactured treatment devices on Memorial Drive.
We're not there
They
yet.
saved a tremendous amount of contamination into the lake.
That's true. That's true. Okay, let's get back. Number 2, the new DEP grant.
Right.
Have you thought?
I mean, I'll update you.
Yeah,
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, go ahead.
We've provided, well, Steve actually provided an initial breakdown to DEP after all the information we provided to them on the agreements. They accepted it. It's being reviewed by Jennifer, the head reviewer at DEP, and we expect a response soon. In the meantime, we obviously commenced surveying, basin layout, MTD layout on the Seaview Square Mall Loop Road or off the Loop Road. And upon formal authorization from DEP, we will proceed. We've been told, Steve, that they're going to process design costs to the commission so that we can fund our costs out of that prior to the work being done. I don't know if they've done that before, but maybe they're looking at this grant a little differently.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'd be careful on how you maintain dates of what's being done. I mean, do we have a signed contract in hand in a
No.
notice to proceed?
No.
Okay, so
We do have a notice to proceed.
okay, be really careful with the date.
Understand. I
Okay,
understand. Yes.
No, we do have that letter though in hand, so that's not a problem.
yeah.
So it's just semantics right now. We're trying to work on the in-kind.
So
piece.
pretty soon, maybe when we get back together in 2
Yeah.
months,
Yeah,
we can bring in some draft plans so the
Okay.
commission can review it
right.
and
great.
we'll move forward together.
Yeah.
We should be all complete by then. We should have a signed document by then and get all the parties together.
Take a field trip too, Don, if you'd like to.
Yeah, we got to get, remember, we got to get our key partners, Monmouth County in there, and the Seaview Wall guys are very important, and Ocean Township, so in the Deal Lake Watershed Alliance, so they'll all be involved. But there was the in-kind piece mentioning all those key players.
Yeah.
There's in-kind pieces that they're going to be providing, and that's what we're pulling our hair out on.
Well, we just got to modify a couple of things, but bottom line is that between myself and Jesse and Don and Peter, we'll be able to track in-kind services. DEP this is the first time I've seen them do this, but they were going to require a lot of detail for certain types of in-kind services provided by the town. That would include the necessity to provide pay stubs as proof of the work that was done. So I had a email conversation with DEP today, and we just decided we're going to eliminate that. It doesn't really affect the grant in any capacity, and the total amount of in-kind match is minimal. It doesn't even amount to 10% of the total in-kind that's being provided. So it's easier just for everybody to just eliminate that.
Okay, well, thanks, guys. Any questions on the new grant, guys?
Steve, when you said it's minimal, do you mean the actual money involved or not the labor, right? Or whatever kinds of income?
Yeah, it's what we had computed to be the dollar equivalent in the volunteer provided time.
Okay.
So it's only amounting to about $10,000 in total. It doesn't really, and it doesn't affect the grant in any way. We don't have to even provide in-kind match. It's just, it assists us in qualifying for the grant money by demonstrating community support.
Right.
So it doesn't affect us in any way other than minimizing headaches, particularly for Jesse in terms of
That's a pain.
keeping track of all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, thanks, guys. Okay, shoreline protection again. We had a couple of more bad actors around the community. Water going in, sliding in, or mud sliding into the lake. I believe the gentleman or the company that's doing work above Wegmans is better. They seem going by there. They contained it better. I'm not sure if it's 100% yet, but we're still looking at that. And I haven't been able to call that lawyer that was on last month about legal obligations and issues of Clean Water Act against some parties. So I'm looking at that more. Hopefully next month I'll have an answer on that. But no further word on that. And of course, all the other about 8 or 9 different DEP call-ins that we had the case numbers on. We haven't heard anything from the DEP on, and I haven't had time, to be honest with you, to catch up on it. As soon as we get these grants cleaned up, I'll have time to do that. But right now, it's a lot. So, and a DEP swamped with calls. So I'm trying to minimize that. Jeannie has already sent a request to meet the head of the office that's dealing with this. So I don't think Jeannie's got an answer yet. Is that correct?
Jesse, I think.
Jeannie.
Me?
Yeah, you sent a letter to the guy in Tom's.
Oh,
right?
no, I'm sorry. I did send a letter, and no, I have not heard back. So I resent the letter again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm going to call the office on either tomorrow or Monday and ask if the same person is still in charge, because it could be he's not even there anymore.
Good question.
Yeah.
All right, thanks for that.
That up first.
Okay, thanks. The goose remediation. Well, so we got the goose. We got a lot of geese. They're active. They're having a lot of fun along the lake, and there's a lot of nests. So our team from the USDA is working on it, and we got some requests. There's a couple folks that we sent letters to, or that have been sent letters to. We dropped a couple off. There's more being dropped off. Jeannie's working with the Board of Education and Asbury Park to get them their approval to treat the shoreline, because we do have nests in Asbury, and I think we have a nest in the Board of Education site. So we got to get to them hopefully next week. I think that is she looking? Did she give a specific date on that, Jeannie? When she's coming back? I think it's next week, right?
Next week, I think. I don't know, but as I think I told you, Don, all the turnover in Asbury Park leadership, the Board of Education has acting people, and we have a new city manager, and just things are not moving very quickly or smoothly. So, but I'm following up on it, and I think right now we've got the city letter secured.
Okay. Weed management. Jesse, you want to talk about that a little bit?
Me? I just.
Well, we're gonna award it to the guy we had last year, correct?
Right. And we don't have to, we can just say if everyone's in favor of doing what we did last year, he used combing for one treatment was $3,990. And Hollowbrook, he used combing again. One treatment was $665.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. So
Could you spell that? Chemical?
Yeah,
Sure.
it's KOMEEN.
Correct.
Thank you.
It's a copper-based herbicide.
Okay. Thank you.
but that's gonna be, we're gonna send that out this week, I guess.
Right.
Or-
Right.
Okay. And next month, next year we'll have to vote. on
Right, we'll have
new
to-
deal, and maybe
right.
we'll do a multi-year deal again.
Yeah.
See what-
Yeah. If he gives us a price for 2 or 3 years, we're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's being set out, the acceptance bid, or what are
We're
you,
just going to use the same because it's under the bid threshold. We
Right.
can use, we don't have to go out to bid for
Okay.
it. And they'll do the same thing that they did last year.
but you're sending out an acceptance to him?
To let him know everyone's in agreement.
Right, okay,
I think it's just a phone call, to be honest with you. Then he sends a contract in.
okay, thank you.
He also has a permit for 2 years.
Yeah,
Right.
He's covered.
Right.
right.
And the name of the vendor is,
Lake,
It's-
I'm sorry. Lake Management Sciences.
okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Or
Yeah.
LMS.
They're up in North Jersey. Number 6, marine safety rules of dealing. I sent a couple emails. I got no response. And so there's a commission, a Marine commission, that we have to do requests for any changes to their safety rules. I called them. I called the sergeant and the state police that contacted me first about it, and the general, he called me back. He said, we submitted a request about personal watercraft jet skis, and I said, oh, okay, I didn't know you did that. So we don't know. It could take a year or two for that request. We didn't say we wanted it, but they determined that it's not practical to have jet skis on the lake, I guess, and made that determination. So we'll see what the new rules are going to be when they issue them, but it takes a while for them to issue the new rules. I wanted some other rules looked at, and I put that in writing. I just haven't gotten any email back on that. So we'll see how that works out. But it's something's in the works on that. But at least we have the contact folks at the state police level. But there is a board, a Marine board, that they meet. I think it's 4 times a year, once a quarter they meet in different locations around us. Or it might be more than that. It might be 6 times. They meet around the state. We missed the last one. Last one was close to us, I think, down South Jersey. But now the next one, I think, is in Cape May, I think, or something like that. But we don't have to go. We wrote them, so we should get some hopefully some submission back from them. Number 7, reestablishment of a joint meeting or DLA commission. Jesse, how we working on that? I owe you.
I was waiting for you to give me a brief synopsis breakdown.
I got to get you that.
Right.
So,
or maybe even Peter could help me with that.
No, I'm going to do it tomorrow. I got it all done.
And then I'll send out the letter to all the.
Okay.
And I'll send all the commissioners the copy of the letters that I'm sending out.
Okay. Deal Lake.
The oil spill?
Okay. No, I just wrote a note to myself. Okay. The oil spill on it was actually we saw it at first on 3/10/2024, but it's been in the lake for years. This continuous oil slick. It was worse a couple of years ago. It lightened up because of our treatment device. Our treatment device was catching the oil leaking out of the site. It's between 4th and 5th Avenue, Asbury on Memorial. It's the big lot, used to be Fish's Bakery. It was a state building for a while. I don't know if the state owned it or leased it, but it was a state office building for a while. But recently, Burke Construction tore it down, and there's a plan afoot to put 126 apartments there. That's well known. That's well documented in the state, in the town's records. They did an admirable job getting it contained. Not perfect. We still had leakage in the lake, and the next day they came in there and did basically exactly what we wanted, was rip out the soil and along the curb. They put containment booms along the curb, inside the curb line, and took all the oily soil out, which was great, and basically put it in the middle of the lot. You'll see it covered up. Some of that's from the treatment device. They evacuated the treatment device at least twice. They vacuumed the treatment device out of sediment, of oils, and floatables. Was covered with oil. So all that was cleaned. After that, they did it again after a rainstorm. I think they're going to end up doing it again. But the containment is great. So I thank the owner and the folks doing the remediation. I think Burke Construction was involved in another company that's certified under the state rules. The next step is the remediation, right? Actually taking out, they found at least 3 oil tanks. There might be more. I don't think they're done looking, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But at least 3 oil tanks, that my understanding was. And they're going to have to remediate them and remediate the soil around and put maybe test wells in. I'm not sure exactly what's happening, but it's going in the right direction, and they're serious about fixing the problem. So that's super, because you got a lot of people that don't care, and it would be there for decades. So we got lucky, I think, on this one. But kudos to Asbury Park and the owner of the property. Any questions on that? Okay. New business. Any other old business I missed? No. Okay. New business. As I mentioned, Zoom meetings in May. I'm down here in North Carolina right now. Next month, in Tampa. So I was making the hybrid meeting happen. So we're going to have to hold off until June for the next in-person meeting. I'm sorry, June. Yeah, June will be next month. So we'll have next month's meeting in person.
Okay.
So maybe we'll have
Thank
that.
you.
Maybe we'll have that working. Maybe we'll have the drawings and the state approved by that. That's what we'll shoot for. So that's that. The flume repair update.
Sorry, the main, John, will be in person.
Number 2, Amanda.
It's the May meeting or the June meeting is for both.
May is going to be Zoom, and July is going to be Zoom. I think
June will be in person.
June, I'm here. I can set it up. I think. Hold on, let me see. I think I am. May, June. Wait, hold on. No, I'm sorry. And we're in April. I'm sorry. May is, yeah, June we have the meeting. May I'm out of town.
May and July?
I think. Hold on, let me see something.
The next meeting will
Is the 16th?
let me see.
When's the next meeting? I'm sorry, let me correct that.
May,
It's the 16th of May, right?
right.
Forget that. I'm here. We can do it in person. We can do a hybrid. We can do
For
a
May?
hybrid. We can do a hybrid in May. Yep.
Okay, because I let Borough Hall know, you, I was told to let her know April, May.
I'm
No.
sorry, I made a mistake. It's
Okay,
July.
so I'll let her know April is a yes.
Yeah. Oh, no,
Okay.
May and June. May and June are
I'm
good.
sorry, I'm sorry, May
June.
and June is a yes.
And July's off. Sorry. I thought it was in Tampa. I'm in second week of Tampa. So, okay. Flume repair. We had a serious situation during that rainstorm 2 weeks ago. On Monday, I had Raritan Valve came in and did a grease job on our system. They were the guys who installed the mechanical gauge or the mechanical actuators into the flume house. And they did a fine job, but one gentleman was a little worried about how the motion of the south shaft was moving up. It was moving. It wasn't normal. I was also shaving metal off the gears on the inner workings of the mechanism. So he said, don't use it unless it's an emergency, right? So I considered one day emergency, so we had it open. And at night, during the day, Peter's guys had sent me the drawings for the actuator, the actual metal plate that slides up and down that lets the water out, and the connection point where the shaft is. And I sent all that information to the Raritan Valve. And at 10 o'clock at night, he did a great review, almost a whole page of information. And his bottom line was, don't use it. It could be a catastrophic failure. So that didn't make me feel too good. So we had it closed. I kept it closed for a whole round of low tide. So that's why the lake was a little higher than it could have been. It could have been lower. But then I think it was Wednesday afternoon or Thursday morning or Wednesday morning. I made a decision. I had to open it up. It was just too high, so we opened it up and all was saved. So that lowered it by 6 inches. So nobody got wet, but that was scary. So they went down there the other day. We lowered the lake a lot last week, and they went down there and looked at it, and they realized it's not as bad as they thought. But there's a little ball that holds the shaft on that's threaded, and it's below this one point, and it's out of its hole. It's out of its locking position. So that's what's making it off balance. So they have to get back in there and realign that, and they got to have the lake much lower. So the only time we can do it really is next week, or not next week, next week or the week after. And I'm not sure I'll be able to arrange that, or they're going to have to wait till next fall. So I'm going to see what we can do. They wanted the commissioners, we might be able to lower it next week. So if you see the lake excessively low, there's a reason for it next week. But if not, we're going to have to wait until just before a big storm. We have to lower it, or next fall. It said, they say it's not as catastrophic as they thought, and we'll be able to use it from time to time. So I'll keep my fingers crossed on that. But we do have some maintenance costs. I think it was a $900 bill the first round. I'm not sure what the second round was, but we got a maintenance proposal from them, and I guess I'll show you that next meeting. I'll have that for you. I don't have the official bill yet. I don't think I sent the bill in, did I, Jesse?
No.
Yeah, I don't think they didn't give me the official bill yet, but it's like it's reasonable. It's $120 an hour or something like that. It might have been $120 an hour for their labor, and they were there for quite a bit. The guy was down in the water on top of the flume. Two guys the other day with walkie-talkie, so it was serious stuff. But they came to hopefully the right conclusion. That's just the alignment issue.
Don, it might be wise to, if you are going to be lowering the lake exceptionally low, to let the public know that.
Sure, we'll do that.
Okay, so just let me know, and I'll send something out, and we can post it on Facebook.
It'll be. I'll post it on Facebook for sure.
Okay.
And then you can push it on the website or whatever. But we'll definitely get that out, the word out. But it's not. We're not doing it yet. There's no dates set, so
right.
That's what we can do. If we can correspond to a storm, that's even better, right? But I don't see any storm for the next 10 days. So it'd be nice to coordinate right before a storm hits, right? And we might use the surge shutdown just to protect them, to keep it dry when they're working in there. So we might use the outfall, the surge chamber, which is not easy to use, but we can use it for the maintenance effort. Okay, any questions? Okay. We also have another issue with the flume on number 3. We've been using a free software link for a remote operation on my phone, and I'm getting kicked off a lot. I get timed out, and it's basically popping up and says you need to pay. Your free offer is over. So it's $298.80 for a year, and that's from Team Viewer. So I would like the motion is for authorizing myself to use my credit card to get a year's use out of Team Viewer. I'm going to try to get it on Do It Future. You'll get a bill from them so we can do it through a check.
Yeah, that's good.
Initially, I'll do it through the credit card. Yeah. But approve for Team Viewer for $298.80 for a year's service of Team Viewer for remote operation of flow.
Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second.
Interlaken.
Thank you. Allenhurst? Is he still there?
Yes.
Asbury Park?
Yes.
Interlaken?
Yes.
Loch Arbor?
Yes.
And Ocean?
Yes. Okay. Number 4, we have Clean Ocean Action. We've been working for years, right, on various hotspots for sewer work. We found a couple, fixed a couple. We have more potential hotspots we'd like to hit. The proposal was for $6,300 for various different locations, and I just read it. I thought it was a little high. I thought the spots may be a little high, but I like to cut the numbers down. But in essence, I think we can. Let me see if I can find it. 1 second.
Was this sent out, Don? I
just got. So next month I'll send this out. I'll let you guys look at it. But I'm thinking about having them cut the numbers down to a different number. We're not going to be able to do this to the summer anyway, so we have a little time. But I just want you to know I did get a proposal for just today for $6,300, and that's for it's $175 a test. It's not a lot of money per test, but it's a lot of testing, and it's all upstream. So I'll have Steve myself look it over and see what we can come up with.
Yeah, I started to go through it, and what I was going to try to do is cross-reference it to some of the other sites that we have sampled in the past. But like you said,
it's way up. It's following the trail, right? It's following
right, exactly.
but I think she has a few too many, maybe. That's my guess.
What's that?
She might have a few too many. I think we can cut the
Yeah,
numbers
I mean,
down.
there's 21 sampling sites. I think some of them could be eliminated
Yeah, yeah.
because we can always go back. I mean, I'm trying to look at
Correct.
which ones are like down gradient, and then,
Right.
yeah.
We could maybe do in 2 rounds. Maybe I'll ask her to do a proposal of do it in 2 pieces, in 2 phases. But we got to get it. It's hard because the wet one, it doesn't rain a lot in the summer. So you got to be rain. It's got to be raining during the weekday when we have people available. It rains at night. It's worthless because you guys physically do it in the rain, and it's you get some really, robust volunteers. We had them last time, and it worked out really well. But it's got to be the right time of day, and in the summer you got more people around to help out. So, but we can wait till next month to vote on this. So we'll hold that. We'll table this. Jesse, any other new business, folks?
No, nope.
Don,
I have one little bit, I think.
Go ahead.
I didn't think of bringing this up until we started talking about the flume and the gatehouse, but over the past week and a half, I have received 2 independent phone calls, one from an insurance-related person, one from a municipal person on ownership of the flume.
Yes.
And ownership of the gatehouse. And we've talked about it over the years, and we have our opinions on it, but I think it might be appropriate if you wanted to appoint a subcommittee to meet with Hunt, and we should come up with a formal response from the Deal Lake Commission. We can't own the gatehouse, unless you want to sell it.
Well, it's just not the gatehouse too,
but it's the flume.
It's the whole structure. It's the gatehouse and the whole pipe all the way out to the end. So here's how it came. It came up 2 ways. It came up in the insurance discussion, and it also came up in the discussion with the dam. Because I had to call the dam folks to ask if I can lower the lake lower than 1.5 feet for emergencies for repair of the structure. And they said, sure, there's emergency provisions. We can do that. Oh, and by the way, when are you going to submit the next dam report? I said, what are you talking about? Oh, you guys own it. No. I said, I think the state owns it.
No.
Right back to him. I think the state owns it.
No, I mean, according to the DEP records, Asbury Park owns it. It's a registered dam.
I know. That's what
the
it
dam
says.
registration. The dam registration number is linked to Asbury Park.
Yeah. To be fair to Asbury, I don't think that's fair to Asbury because part of the structure's in Lock Harbor and part of the pipes in Asbury and Lock Harbor. So,
But I think Asbury Park may have sent in the dam safety permit.
No,
so that's something.
But nobody has ever did a report.
That's why I think it would be appropriate
right,
for you and Steve and myself and anyone else who might be interested to meet with Hunt, and we come up with a formal legal response that we can use when someone calls.
Yeah, and Peter, the last report that was submitted was 2004. The last report that was submitted was 2004 by Asbury Park.
Yes. Yeah, they have a specific number. I forgot what the number is off the top of my head, but it's a dam number. It's ownership of the dam, not the flume. They consider the dam the whole structure.
Right. Steve said he has it, right?
Yeah, I have it.
What's that?
The dam report.
No, you don't have the dam report. No.
No. The number too.
You don't have the dam report. You have a dam.
No, I'm saying, yeah.
It's a listing. It's listing on a state registry.
Correct.
Right.
For Jesse's minutes, is that DAM or DAMN?
It's actually both.
To be sure.
I don't know. All I know, I talked to the damn guy. I want you to know that. There's a damn guy in DEP.
I have flume improvements from the 2 years you represented to me, which I believe both show that the state of New Jersey, promulgated, I'll say, the bids for those flume improvements. That doesn't reflect ownership in their eyes, because they do a lot of things along the shoreline as improvement projects, and they don't claim ownership. But it is a place for us to start.
Now, here's the best part. When it first all started, it was James Bradley throwing bales of hay in the pipe. On the Lock Harbor side, right? On the Lock Harbor side.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's where the water was coming from.
That's so
anyway,
funny.
flowing
And-
back.
Is there insurance on the flume? Are we insured for that?
Well, that's the next
That's the
thing. I'm
big
sorry.
issue.
That's the next subject. So the state of New Jersey is asking us, we are actually insisting we have a general liability insurance for the Deal Lake Commission. That could include the flume building. That could include all the Deal Lake cleanups we have and any other activities that are on the lake
Sure.
that we might be involved with. We have director's insurance, I believe that's called. Is that what's
Right.
called? That's
Yeah. Errors and omissions.
right. And that's for us, protecting us, but we don't have any general liability insurance. And I talked to other lake commissions and other lakes, and all of them seem to have it. And we're not going to get away from it. So we're going to have to get general liability insurance. I do not have the copy of the new policy. We put in the paperwork for it, which was 3 pages long.
Yeah.
And the insurance agent that we dealt with was who we deal with now, our insurance agent, sat with me on a Zoom call, went over every element. And they submitted it for a quote. I do not have the quote. They believe it's going to be under $3,000. So I would believe we should probably vote on that tonight so we can get our grant, because we don't have it, we can't get our grant.
If we don't have the insurance, we can't get
The grant.
Okay.
That's correct.
Correct.
Is this the grant where we need the $93,000?
No, that's the old one.
So-
This is the new
When are we going to see that 93,000? You know, because we're running low on dough here.
I know.
Checks in the mail, they say. That's what they tell me.
All right. I heard
Yeah,
that.
right.
Are you putting that on the table, Don? A $3,000?
Yeah, I got unfortunately. What's the company's name, Jesse?
Connor Strong,
Commerce Strong. Maybe with Commerce.
Connor Buckaloo and Strong, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Why don't we do
They're
it
our
not-
agent. That's not the actual insurance company, but that's our agent.
Right.
They're trying to get it with our insurance, the actual agent, the actual insurance company we have now, whatever that is.
Because I think now
Why
we
don't
pay,
Why don't we do it not to exceed 4,000 so we don't
Right.
get
exactly,
up here.
That's
exactly.
good.
All right,
Okay, thanks, Bruce.
Someone please offer
I'll,
second.
Alan Hurst offer. Alan Hurst second.
Okay. And it's for insurance in an amount, general liability insurance in an amount not to exceed $4,000.
yes.
Perfect.
We're not naming the insurer yet in this,
And we're not dropping the other insurance. We're not
Right.
yet.
we're
We
not,
might get a combination policy down the road, but
Right, which is probably what we should do.
yeah.
Okay, Alan Hurst,
Says yes.
Asbury Park,
yes.
Interlaken,
Yes.
Lock Arbor,
Yes.
and Ocean.
Yes.
Con,
Okay.
can I ask, Con, did you ever do any kind of a overview or a historical review of the ownership of either the gatehouse or the flume or any physical improvements?
I have not.
No?
Been
Okay.
reached to in the past. I would assume that a title search is probably warranted just to see where
Yeah.
physically where it's located.
Yeah, we've used tax maps and other maps before, surveys of property. I have a survey of the old Marine Grill site here. I remember working on when I was a kid. Well, I think we should work on it, Don. I think that would be appropriate.
Yeah, if we own it, do we get taxed on it? What do you think?
Sure.
Is there
Don't
a
tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. We'll be quiet.
between the registered dam and a flume? Is there a difference?
No, it's a dam. It's only a dam.
Okay,
It's all
So-
about the dam. It's
so-
nothing, has nothing to do with the so-called flume. It's dealing with the dam.
okay.
Why the flume comes in,
They probably
Jeannie,
don't.
is that we've done projects before where we did the design and the state bid the flume extension, for example, or flume improvements.
Mhm.
And they assume a responsibility with that by paying for at least 65% of the improvement project. In some cases, they do it when they own the facility. In other cases, they deny ownership. If we don't have anyone that owns it, I don't know what the state would say about that. Because usually it's a municipality, and it's easy to say, "Oh, Spring Lake at Rec Pond bought for years," and then they said, "Okay, Spring Lake owns the Rec Pond flume." Okay, it's in Spring Lake, we'll assume ownership, and the state pays their percentage when it gets improved. We don't really have anyone here to own it or to assume ownership, unless, like Don said, it was Asbury Park.
Right.
I
But
don't-
I guess what I'm confused about is, Steve said that Asbury Park is the registered owner of the dam.
On the dam safety permit. That was the last one on file with DEP.
Okay. And
Well,
that-
it's not the permit. It's on a website. It's just assigned to it. We don't know how it got there. It could have been some, college kid putting something together. We don't know how.
I don't know.
Well,
Well, look, that's why we should look at it, because I
That's
saw a
right.
copy of correspondence that had a dam safety permit number and a reference to the city of Asbury Park.
And to add more information, Asbury Park called me and
Right.
asked me who owned it.
Right. Yeah. So, well, anyway, whenever this meeting happens, I'd like to be in on that. So just add me to the list. Okay.
I'd like to also be in on that.
I'm on that. I've been asked the same
I have
question.
a big Zoom meeting on this. Okay,
Well, can I ask a question?
sure.
I'm curious, how without seeing the general insurance policy, how does the general insurance policy interface with the fact that no one knows who owns the flume?
Yeah.
Well,
Can I just
covers
piggyback?
everyone.
Can I piggyback on that question though? How come, since it's physically located in Lock Arbor, Asbury owns it?
Well,
Or you're saying Lock Arbor doesn't own it? Like,
well, who knows? I mean, that's the question. Lock Harbor, it's the land mass. Some of the land is in Lock Harbor. The building, I believe, is in Lock Harbor based on the road construction that's being done out there.
the property line that Asbury Park paints there is far to the south of
It is. And if you go on Google Maps, it's even worse.
Correct, though, because if you follow the line of the flume, the gatehouse is not going to be in Lock Harbor.
So is that the answer to the question then? If you follow,
No, honestly, don't know.
Okay.
Looking on the tax maps makes it even more confusing, because I did.
Sure does. It sure does.
And to top it off, technically it would be right. It would be all separated. It was separate ownership. It would be separated all the way out to the ocean on the tax map, right?
Yeah.
On both tax maps. It kind of blends together. So
It's a conundrum.
I like that.
I guess.
Can you put that on the agenda, Jessica?
Yeah. How do you spell that?
We'll figure it out.
I can spell that for you, Jesse.
It's gotta be figured out though, right?
Here's the bottom line. We have the key to the flume. We maintain the flume. We oversee the flume based on the agreement we have with all the 7 towns. So we have responsibility. If somebody slips and falls in front of that flume, I assume it could be our responsibility. They'll probably sue everybody, but it's nice to have the coverage. So
should have insurance.
And by the way, the state says we have to have it, or we're not getting that $1 million grant. So guess what?
Yeah.
We
We
need
get
it.
insurance. Yeah.
We'll get insurance.
Yeah.
We definitely have an it's called an insurable interest in it. If you have an insurable interest, you can get
Yes.
insurance whether you own it or not.
Oh, thank you, Bruce. That
That is good.
that's very good.
Thank
Very
you.
good. Okay. Commissioner's last word. Let's Margaret, you wanted to pass on this night, right? Okay. Carol?
So the way I understand it, I was going to pass tonight too, but I was thinking about it, and the way I understand it, I think that the DLI Commission has a little bit of an anniversary coming up.
Yes.
So I wanted to take a moment and talk about that, just put it in people's heads, and maybe everybody could start thinking about how we could commemorate that
Right.
in a meaningful way.
How many years?
50.
50, it's a big number.
That is big.
We almost
So-
slipped by.
I'm thinking we need to have some kind of a event or something that, has an educational
good idea.
component like we've been working on. Maybe there's fishing, there's paddle boarding, maybe there's some commemorative merchandise. It needs to be fun. And
Great. That's a
I
great
think we
idea.
need to start thinking about that. And maybe that could be an agenda for a workshop meeting or something.
Definitely for the next meeting.
We'll
Perfect.
definitely do it.
Maybe Steve can look in his file for the first meeting minutes.
Oh, that would be great.
How about pictures of you two at the first meeting? I like
Yeah,
that.
we'll do that. We could do that.
That would be pretty wild.
That would
It
be
would be.
funny.
Before
We
he
We
flew
can
with
dig
it.
them up. We can definitely dig them up.
Yeah,
We have a
let's,
lot of old historic, like I told you, I surveyed the Marine Growth site. We have a lot of old historic Asbury Park photos in our office.
We have storing experts. That's what we have.
When you're back from your escapades, maybe you want to come over and we can look through some files together and find some interesting
That's
historic
good.
photos.
Thanks, Carol. That's great.
That's
That's
a
great.
great
Wonderful.
idea.
Thank you, Carolyn.
I'd like to come to that too, to look for some pictures, because I'd like to
Sure,
work on the
absolutely.
t-shirt component. I'm
Oh,
seeing
that would
t-shirts
be
that
great.
say, I heart the flume.
Yeah. Or who owns the flume?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
Hey, wait, why don't we put a for sale sign on the flume and see what happens?
there you go.
That's it.
That's not even funny. That's
Yes, it is.
not in
Oh,
Lock
that's great.
Harbor.
Oh,
Great.
Jeannie, what do you got? What do you got there, Jeannie?
I don't know what I've got, except that I'm really glad that the people that are the owners of the property where the oil is leaking, we still don't know exactly what's causing the leak yet, but I'm really glad that at least they're trying to contain it.
Yeah.
And that the manufactured treatment device is doing such a good job of containing is, that says a lot about the MTD for anybody who has a question about its value. So,
And what the Deal Lake Commission does, it's all, if we
Right.
didn't do it, it wouldn't have been done.
right. So, good thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's really all I've been thinking about lately. So, that. And yes, I agree. I think it's a great idea to have a commemoration of some kind. And we definitely should put it at least in our media,
Okay.
Just we'll pick a date. I don't know what the date is of the 50th anniversary, but
I'll
once.
look it up. I'll look it up.
Okay, terrific.
Bruce, what do you got?
A couple things. So I'm looking across the lake right now, and it's astounding to me how many trees have been removed over there.
I know.
I just hope that if we're granting permits for building and the like on lakefront property, that the municipalities are letting the people know that there are restrictions on cutting trees, because I have a feeling many of them don't know those restrictions and are just going in there and treating the property in whatever way they want. The other thing is, I was out here the other day. I saw a bird. It was not an osprey. It looked like a brown eagle. I don't know if anybody's seen any of them. Have you seen it?
Yes.
It's a massive bird, beautiful bird.
Yes.
And I was wondering if anybody was able to identify what kind of bird it was. I was looking up different eagles, and
Could have been immature.
Yeah, I think it
Eagle.
is a young eagle. Yes.
Yeah.
That's what you think it is?
Yep.
It didn't have a white
I got
head.
a thumbs up from Robert there.
I saw the same thing, Bruce, the other day up in a tree, getting harassed by crows, an immature eagle, all brown.
Wow.
On
that note, let's make a motion, open it up to the public.
Wait 1 second though, Don. I just want to say something to Bruce. Bruce, and this is for everybody else. Time Don, Steve, and I got together and put together a phrase that we could put, well, what do we call it? Not a phrase, but an insert for the construction departments for the different towns that can be put either on their website or added to the permits, so that everybody knows that they should contact the DEP. So I'll send that out to you if you would like it, and for anybody else who wants it, because Asbury Park is using it now.
Every one of those properties that Bruce is talking about,
Yeah,
has a violation notice. They've been turned into the DEP. They cut trees that weren't supposed to be cut down. They put bulkheading up that shouldn't have been put up.
right.
So we're waiting, and the town knows.
The
The people just did what the hell they wanted to do,
Right.
and that was it. And they ruined a beautiful shoreline, and their house is going to fall on the lake. Other than that, that's what they chose to do. They chose to destabilize their shoreline. That was stupid. So We'll see what happens. But that's one of the discussions with DEP, Jeannie. It's beyond what we did. We did the best we could. Unfortunately, we can't control people. I mean, you can't control what they do.
Well, I just think that within the municipalities themselves, that, you know,
It doesn't matter. It's the
People-
municipalities can only do so much. They only have so much manpower. So these people bring their tree guys in and they cut the trees down.
I was speaking, and I'd like to finish what I was saying. I do think it's important for the municipalities to have something, especially when they're going to give, they're the ones that issue permits to people. People
They all have it, Ginny, they have it. That's the point. They have it. They know the whole system. They got it.
The construction department.
Yes, they know it.
I'm going to just tell you from my experience in dealing with that, they didn't have that information. So now they do. And whether people follow it after they get the information from the construction departments, that's something else. But at least they start when a person goes from the city to inspect a property where someone's asking for permits, they can say to them, here, read this. This is because you're lakefront. You need to be aware of this. Now, like you say, some people are going to say, I don't care. I own the property. I can do whatever I want. But some people really, and the construction departments themselves, the people that work there, were not aware. So I'm just saying that's been a consistent problem with lack of either misinformation or something, you know, so.
Okay, let's move on. Public, let's motion.
A motion to open the meeting to the public?
Sure.
Second?
Moving.
Second?
Interlaken.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, the person has hand raised first.
Yes, that's me, Swarna.
Oh, doctor, how are you doing?
I'm okay, thank you. Sorry, I am not on video today because of a temporary disability situation.
Okay.
So, about the tree, aren't there municipal ordinances that are requirement under the, stormwater rules that by May 31st or something, each municipality has to come up with an updated tree ordinance? And I was just wanting to find out if all of the towns are, updated on that ordinance, or is it?
The towns are adopting, some towns have adopted it, some towns are changing them. Ocean has their tree ordinance. They have a tree, and they have a tree inspector. That's the shoreline that Bruce was looking at. I know that the gentleman was involved. I know there was a bunch of trees that were cut down illegally. So, from there, who knows where it goes with the state? The state has very few. They have limitations for inspectors, but they have the violation notice, and they're required to follow up on it. And usually they have the town follow up, and there's a report sent by the town. We don't know what that final report was. We don't have a copy of it yet. At least on the multiple shorelines, there's at least 4 or 5 houses right in front of Bruce's house that had violations.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? Jump in. Melanie. There you go. See Melanie.
Melanie, unmute you're muted.
Can't hear you, Melanie, still.
Melanie. There you go. Oh, no, you're still muted. There you go.
There you
Okay.
go.
Yep, you're good.
Yeah. Are we going, I should have asked Margot this actually before the meeting. When is the carp contest? Is there a carp contest? And Margot, are we thinking about contacting Raptor Trust maybe and seeing about bringing carp up there again?
Sure. If you do it.
We don't have it scheduled yet. I haven't arranged
Okay.
the fishing club. I'm hoping to do sometime in May. I'm hoping so.
Okay.
Okay.
That's it.
Bob Jazarowski, didn't you want to make an announcement about something tonight?
Yeah, I got a couple things, Gene. Thanks.
Okay, thanks.
So May 18th, we have our Deal Lake paddle with the Deal Lake Watershed Alliance. It's kind of not official. We're working through some challenges that are similar to the ones you guys were discussing earlier. So we have a couple details we have to work out, but right now it's May 18th, starting at 9 o'clock. And we'll have a flyer to send you all shortly. We just have some details we have to iron out. And then on the next day, May 19th, you may know that the Ocean Township Green Fest is going to be on. So that's the Green Team and the Environmental Commission doing this. It's from 10 to 2 p.m. They've already got about 30 vendors, so it looks pretty good already.
And there's a 5K run.
Right before it, right?
Yeah.
5K right before it. That's going to be in the main part of Joe Clay Park. This is going to be where the museum is, and that space right there's like a grassy area between the museum and the library. So it's real close to where the 5K is.
Right.
Games, a lot of things for kids and that sort of thing. So yeah, it's really getting the buzz too. It really looks like it's going to be pretty special. So the Deal Lake Watershed Alliance will have a table there. We've got this neat display from Rutgers that shows what a watershed is, and there's these colored pellets you release in there. It's kind of interactive for the kids, yeah. And I think Jeannie, we said for the Deal Lake Commission, we'll have a space for like if you want some flyers or cards or something like that.
We'll put some. I'm going to bring.
Sign up for our newsletter, right, Jeannie? That the QR code.
Yeah, it's just for getting people to subscribe to our newsletter. That's correct.
Yeah, so spread the word, folks. If you know eco-friendly vendors, and we're still taking vendors.
I think we got some good comments already on our website.
Oh yeah,
a Facebook and website we put it on. And
yeah, I put it up.
Oh great, thanks, Gene.
Got nice comments already.
Welcome.
Appreciate it. All right, thank you all.
Okay, thanks, Rob. Oh. Anybody else?
Me again.
Okay, go ahead now.
And what Bruce was talking about before about the trees,
Sure.
it's just a continuing problem. And Ocean Township put in a tree ordinance, didn't they? If you cut down trees, it was supposed to be $2,000 a tree. Some guy took down 7 trees, clear cut the whole lot. And instead of paying $14,000, he paid $2,000. So, and here we put a tree ordinance in Lock Arbor. We worked forever to get it in, and hired an arborist to, say this tree is viable and everything. And all the guy has to say is something like, well, it could have a potential of falling. Well, any tree could have a potential of falling, and that's good enough. And down it comes, right, Margot? Yeah, I mean, we have a Mary Goslin's house here that was sold last summer, had gorgeous trees, absolutely magnificent. And the thing is, they're cutting down all old growth trees and do not have any understanding that is what holds the water in the ground. Don't know and don't care. So
they better get.
That's all I can say.
Better get better sump pumps and better roofs.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
But it's everyone's problem.
It is.
It is. Well, the state rules are going to be pretty strict, so I believe they're stricter than what we got. I believe. So I don't know that for a fact, but I believe it.
But I think she makes a good point that it takes enforcement, right? So.
Oh yeah, and it's not our responsibility, unfortunately. We just have to point it out to our towns, our individual towns, and see what happens with it. Anybody else for the public?
Oh, just as a point of interest.
Hold on, Jeannie, let me finish up with the public first.
Oh, sorry.
Anybody else with the public, please? Okay, let's close the meeting. Let's close the public session down.
So all I was going to say was that.
Hold on, Jeannie, hold on one second.
What?
Jesse, go ahead.
Okay, a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion.
Second?
You're not allowed to just speak.
A second?
Lincoln.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, Jeannie. What's up, Jeannie?
Oh, I was just going to mention that in some towns, they're also assigning heritage trees, which are things like what Melanie was talking about, old trees. They'll actually designate trees that are older, and they give them heritage status, and then it's very difficult then to cut them down. But I don't, like you say, it's enforcement issue everywhere. That's the problem.
And who designates them?
They had, now they're talking about doing it in Asbury Park. Personally, I think it would be better to have an ordinance, but they're talking about doing a heritage tree. What they were going to evaluate them, they have a criteria for what is a heritage tree based on diameter, age, that kind of thing, the type of tree that it is. And that
Interlaken has that.
They have a heritage tree? Okay. So that was just something I wanted to throw out. I know they're considering it in Asbury. I'm
Thank you.
to see what the
Thank
state comes up with.
Okay.
Mhm.
A motion, close the public meeting.
We did that.
A motion to close the meeting, sorry.
That's it.
Second,
Interlaken.
thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Well,
Opposed?
happy birthday, Deal Lake. 50
Happy
years.
birthday, Jill. Like, think of what we want to do.